It'll be funnier if we just do one take.
Okay. All right.
Okay, go.
You ready for
Look at the picture. See the skull, the part of bone removed, the master race Frankenstein radio controls, the brain thoughts broadcasting radio, the eyesight television Frankenstein earphone radio, the threshold brainwash radio, the latest new skulls reforming contain all Frankenstein controls, even in thin skulls of males, visible Frankenstein controls, the synthetic nerve radio disconnection antenna loop. Make copies for yourself. There is no escape from this worst gangster police state. Use all the deadly gangster Frankenstein controls. In 1965, CIA gangster police beat me bloody, dragged me in chains from Kennedy Airport. Since then, I hide in forced jobless poverty, isolated alone in this low deadly townhouse. The brazen deadly gangster police and puppet underlings spray weed and poisonous nerve gas and automobile exhaust and even lawnmowers. Deadly assaults, even in my yard with knives, even bricks and stones, even deadly touch pavement and electric shock flashlights, even remote electronically controlled around corners projection of deadly touch tarantula spiders, and even bloody murder accidents to shut me up with a stake undetectable extermination, even with trained parroting puppets, assassins, and maximum security insanity prisons providing these unforgivable truths. Until my understandable examination, I, Francis E. Deck, Esquire, 29 Maple Avenue, Hampstead, New York, I stand alone against you mad, deadly, worldwide, conspiratorial, gangster, computer god communism, with wall-to-wall deadly gangster lifelong sworn conspirators, murderly incorporated organizers, crime, the police and judge, deadly state parroting puppet gangsters using the gangster deadly Frankenstein controls. These hangman ropes need deadly gangsters and judge the police, trick, trap, rob, break, butcher, and murder the people to keep them terrorized. Gangster Frankenstein earphone radio slavery for the communist gangster government and the con artist parroting puppet gangstering playboy scum on top. The secret work of all world in world of maintaining communist closed society is the same worldwide mad deadly communist gangster computer god that controls you.
What the
That was great.
fuck did I just listen to?
That was great.
What the fuck?
That's the way it worked. Man, once we really hit stride, we really hit stride.
Yeah, I can't wait to listen to that, babe.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
No, this rant is like some lawyer went insane and just started handing out these pamphlets everywhere in 1965 talking about the communist gangster computer gods trying to take over the world.
Wow.
It's like this. In 1965, CIA gangster police bleep me buddy, dragged me in chains from Kennedy, New York airport. Since then I hide in forced jobless poverty, isolated alone in this low deadly townhouse. The brazen deadly gangster police and puppet underlings spray me with poisonous nerve gas from automobile exhaust and even lawnmowers.
What the fuck?
That sounds like schizophrenia to me.
It does.
That sounds like schizophrenia. Yeah.
And then,
he's just stuck in some rundown house just looking at lawnmowers like they're trying to kill me.
Oh, God.
Yeah. That's...
Worldwide systematic instant plastic surgery, butchery, murder, fake aging, so all people are dead or useless by age 70. Done at night, so you, as a Frankenstein slave, parroting puppet gangster slave, now even you know I am a menace to your worldwide mad deadly communist gangster computer god.
I like his cadence and his flow with that. It's like, damn, dude.
He's not, but he's spitting.
I know, right?
And the last line really seals it all together. Donate your money or even a manual typewriter to me for your only hope for a future.
not one of those computerized typewriters.
No. Manual typewriter.
Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx. Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx. Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx. Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx.
Hi, my name is Sabrina, and I'm pretty sure that Australians use Vegemite as lube.
Yeah.
Jesus.
My name is Matt, and I'm convinced that drop bears have knife fights with kangaroos in the streets in Australia.
What the hell is a drop bear?
A drop bear?
My name is Goose, and I believe that the American economy is 95% funded by Ford Rangers.
That That's probably true.
That's probably true.
And this is
Sumo Punx!
So is the Vegemite thing not true? Because you guys put that shit on everything, right? So I just assumed you'd put it on your dicks too. Is that not
is
correct?
so gross. It's so sticky.
Isn't it like a yeast-based?
It's like tar.
It is. It's a yeast tar.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
But the yeast isn't alive, so it won't give you a yeast infection.
It's
You would
spin.
not be able to get pulled apart if you use that.
You'd just be like two dogs stuck together.
Res dogs. You've been hanging out with me too long. Well, stuck together res dogs.
I guess I agree to this, but hello everyone, I'm Goose. Subscribe to Salt City Sumo on YouTube. We do every day of every top division tournament of every year. I probably said that wrong, but you get the point. Catch us from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Brisbane time. I don't know how to convert that to inches and feet, but you know.
We could figure it out. But I usually see you guys around like YouTube, Twitch, usually really late at night whenever the upper
Like
division's
2
going.
a.m. or some shit, yeah.
Yeah, we go live with Japan, which for Americans is like midnight, but for Australia is 5 p.m. And I finish work at 4 p.m. It's so
Lucky
good.
bastards.
I'm so jealous of that.
It's so good.
How dare you have a preferable timeline for watching sumo?
He lives in the future. I mean, literally, he does. He's in that
Oh
whole
yeah,
other...
true. Huh?
All right, so we have the Goose
I've heard
with
you
us.
also like sumo.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. And we're here to talk about amateur sumo today.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, those of us layman
Yeah.
folk who like to strap on the mawashi and hop into the dojo ourselves.
Yes, not the living gods in Japan who mount the official dojo at the Kokuki-Con or wherever the hell else
So
Nagoya.
I have a complaint.
Dolphins Arena.
Yeah, the Dolphins Arena. I have a complaint. At the Consulate's Cup, there was a popular sumo live streamer in the audience who had taped some of the action, and some of this person's live stream
Wait.
audience.
A popular sumo live streamer?
Yeah. Oh, fuck it. I'll just say his name. We could bleep it out if we need to.
Yo!
I don't even know who that is.
He's a YouTube streamer, and he has.
He must not be that popular if I don't know him.
You might have just blocked him out.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I'm really bad at remembering names and faces, so most people just don't exist to me unless they're literally right in front of me. But go on.
so this person was there, and they taped a little bit of the action. I guess their microphone malfunctioned, so a lot of
Yeah.
the video doesn't have any audio, so you can't hear the quote-unquote commentary, but you can see a lot of his audience, you know, that watches the live streams, leaving comments on the video, and it's just some of the most ignorant shit.
Oh, so your issue isn't with him, it's with
the thing that I
the
do have against...
commenters.
The thing that I had against him is whenever he said, I just don't understand the pull noodle Tawara. It's regulation. The International Sumo Federation makes us use that.
Does he have his own dojo?
He does not.
He's never built a dojo before?
I don't think so. So
It's
Is
a
this where
little
we
bit
start
time
podcaster
and resource
beef?
intensive to dig into the dirt and build your own straw bales and implant them into the ground. And you need to be able to leave the area because it's not your ground that you went on. That's
Yeah.
the simple explanation.
Pretty
I know,
much, yeah.
So whenever we have like these demonstrations or, you know, these tournaments, you know, we have to get set up and then like, you know, get out of there pretty quickly. So we can't just dig in the dirt and take a, you know, 3-day time frame to build this thing, you know.
Oh, like Gabe Eunuch up in Michigan, who took like several days to hand build a actual dirt dojo by himself.
He's doing it again too for the upcoming tournament.
I know, I
But
heard.
anyway, I digress about
Construction takes a while.
Yeah, so this guy was complaining about the pull noodle Tawara, but his audience members leaving comments on the video left something to be desired. Like, a couple of these guys said, I don't think any of these guys would ever get past Joni Don or Joni Coochie. It's like, all right, I see a lot of wannabe Jonah Coochies in there. It's like, dude, Jonah Coochie dudes are like 16.
Yeah.
I mean, they're little guys, they're in the midst
Also, some of you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
The level of skill in pro sumo is ridiculous. Let me tell a quick little story. So, in Australia, the number one rickshaw that we have is Caleb. He's 140 kilos, most of it's muscle, with a protective layer of fat on top. Yeah. And for Americans, wondering, I think that's 300-something pounds.
Yeah, that's,
closer to 400.
Yeah.
I got to translate a lot in my head. Apologies. He won the Australian heavyweight trophy and the Australian openweight trophy. He's the best we have in the nation. I went with him to train with Minaminashima. You can find him on Sumo DB. He won a 4th division Yusho, and he retired, never making it out of 3rd division. He had a Makushita 29 was his highest rank. He retired in 2008. He's a bit more out of shape since 2008. I watched him beat Caleb 6 times in a row and make it look easy.
Wow.
That's fucking nuts.
I mean, I don't doubt it, because it's just so different getting to actually be in Japan and immersed in that sumo culture and learning it that way than it is to be like here in the US or there in Australia or wherever the hell else, and just kind of trying to piece it together on your own. It's such a different experience. So
yes.
But
so that's a way to contextualize the level of skill even at 3rd division. So when those guys are in the comments like, oh, they wouldn't be able to beat even a 5th division guy. Yes, that's because weekend hobbyists are not as good as pros.
That's very true. Yet at the same time, there are some, I wouldn't necessarily say weekend hobbyists. I'd say amateur competitors on the international level, and specifically the international level, that, just may not have been able to make it into a Heya. Like Minde, that competed at the US Open. That guy is, an amateur sumo wrestler, but he definitely has what it takes. I honestly think he probably has, like, as of right now, maybe Makushita or Juryo level skill. Just, seeing who he fights and how he fights them.
Or Edo.
Yeah. Edobo
Konieha is actually trying to go pro. He was at the Consulates Cup as well. He took gold in his division.
Haven't you fought Edo before, Goose?
I beat him in training once, and then he beat me every single other time. But I beat him in training once.
But yeah, Edo's he's insanely strong, and he's incredibly skilled.
Agile and quick.
Hell yeah. He's an
athlete.
He has a very slender frame, but his strength is otherworldly. He pushed me out, and it felt like Hayden pushing me out.
Yeah, Hayden's another one of the heavyweights from Dallas.
Yeah, Hayden's really fucking good. I think Hayden's he is the best heavyweight that we have, in Dallas. Mm-hmm. And then you have guys like Mark Jones in Florida, Gorilla Sumo Band. Mark Jones is fucking amazing, and his strength he is Herculean, like, seriously. And do you know who beat him? Minde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you have other people, that have gone from the amateur circuit into pro. So look at Shodai. That's why he wrestles by the name Shodai, is because he built up a reputation in the amateur circuit, the college.
True. Yeah.
You have guys like Endo, Ichinojo even, that's...
Ura.
Yeah, Ura. Oh, definitely Ura. Back whenever Ura was was he a lightweight or a middleweight? But the 2013...
Lightweight.
Yeah. 2013 World Combat Games, you could see a bony Ura kicking people's ass. But I think a lot of these people that look at pro sumo and then they just kind of see something like, like a small regional tournament or, just kind of like...
If you're trying to compare the two...
Yeah, it's like comparing, Major League Baseball with fucking, some guys, corporate softball league.
Yeah.
It's not the same kind of thing,
That's one of the main gripes from my coach in Brisbane, who came 5th at the World Combat Games for sumo.
Oh, wow.
Is we are amateurs. we are not the pros. There is a world of difference between us.
Oh,
exactly. I mean, I work 40 hours a week and I have to go do chores. I'm in a band, and I do things. I could only really dedicate just a couple of days a week to sumo. I'd like to do my exercises and keep my physical fitness up, and I like to compete, but I'm not living it every day. I'm not waking up at 4 in the morning and, making Sabrina breakfast to...
You're not going to a university that's, like, heavily sumo focused or anything like that.
So I'm not living the chaos. I'm fucking, just chilling.
I'm in an opposite side of a similar kind of story like that, but in a different way. I'm one of the stronger people I know, not for a brag or anything, but I've worked physical jobs for 10 years. I've been doing martial arts for 10 years. I'm just very athletic naturally.
Yeah.
And I've spent a lot of time trying to be strong.
Yeah, I've seen you in person. I've given you a hug. I can attest to your musculature.
Damn shoulders, baby.
Mm-hmm.
But I lack the physical skill for sumo, and so I can get into these lockups and can withstand, but I don't know what to do in situations, and I get tossed around and beaten by skill because I'm not able to come up with things like that. So you train a lot more than me, I work out a lot more than you, and because of that, we both have strong limitations because we're only doing one aspect of it.
Right. Goose, how long have you been doing sumo?
Half a year, but that doesn't mean 6 months, because in Brisbane, sumo is very niche.
Yeah.
And there's only one training session a month because that's all the coach has the time to do.
Oh, wow. So a lot of your training is probably solo, right?
No, so Kintanagama Bay in Brisbane, there's coach, there's me, and there's 2 other guys who are the 4 dedicated there every time people. And then there's usually one other person who comes in to try it and floats through. Mm. And then there's this high school girl and her mum that are just weebs and do it for fun. And they come around too. So they're adorable, by the way.
Aww.
It's the first time I ever versed her, she's 17. Like, we did the tachi-ai. I didn't try to break her jaw. We clashed. She tried to position. I grabbed the belt and just lifted her up, and then just walked very slowly and placed her out.
And notioned her.
Yeah, as I picked her up, she went, oh. When I place her down, from behind me, I hear, you bully. And I look, and it's my coach waiting in a tachi-ai ready for me. He whooped my ass. Deservedly so.
Well, shout out to the high school girl anyway. That's, it takes guts to even get in the ring and do that to begin with.
I know, right? Now, we have a few people on the Dallas team that we got from anime conventions, and one of them is Erin, and she did Taekwondo, so she's not, completely foreign to martial arts, but whenever we did the Roller Town, or were you familiar with that event?
I saw it. I didn't compete.
Yeah, the Roller Town tournament where we had Gagamaru.
I saw the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gagamaru did a training session with us, but anyways.
Speaking of adorable.
So we had it was co-ed, because it was all exhibition matches, so it was co-ed, so, it would be boys fighting girls, whatever. And I got to fight Erin, so I fight Erin at practice, a lot whenever she, shows up to practice. I was getting ready to kind of do the suridashi and just kind of lift her out, but she wrapped her leg, her legs around my torso, and she's just got a hold of my arms. So I had to kind of squat down, kind of holding her.
She was spider monkeying you.
Yeah, she was it was like a spider. I had to very gently power bomb her, onto the floor. There's a picture. It's hilarious. But.
Oh my god. But yeah, that's a good place to recruit if you are looking for new members. And it's something that I think most people don't think about just because it sounds so fucking corny. But the anime nerds are going to be interested in doing sumo. Trust me.
Yeah, they got heart and they got fucking passion.
You might want to recruit from other martial arts first, but you're really missing out if you're overlooking the weebs.
Yeah, we went to Anime Dallas last November or December, and there was a guy there that was dressed like Vegeta. But this dude was fucking jacked. I mean, this dude had like muscles. I think he was like probably a Brazilian.
I remember the video when he got in the ring with you guys.
Yeah, well, it was with Chad New.
Yeah.
So like he was kind of had a similar build to Chad New. You know, they were both lightweight physiques, but they were just manhandling the shit out of each other, and his little Vegeta wig was just still sticking straight up, you know, the whole time.
That's fantastic.
Shout out to Chad from Dark Circle.
Hell yeah. But
and Vegeta.
And Vegeta. But all of these like little anime conventions, you really will find like hidden treasures in there. There's somebody that might just say, you know, I don't know, I just came with my kid sister to, you know, make sure creeps don't hit on her. And oh, what's this? These guys in Mawashi's beating the shit out of each other. I want to try that.
Or maybe the kid sister wants to try it, you know?
Fuck yeah.
She can put a Mawashi over her fucking Madoka costume or whatever.
The thing is, I appreciate the advice. However, it's up to my coach, not me, and I don't want to have to bombard him with stuff like this. Also, Brisbane's a lot smaller than Texas.
Yeah.
Hang on, let's try that again. Dallas.
I was say Texas is huge.
Texas might as well be its own country, and there's definitely a lot of people here who wish it was. What is the population of Brisbane anyway?
More than 12? I don't know, let me take a look. It's like a couple million, I think, maybe 1.3.
What's the population of DFW area?
There's only 20 million people in Australia. Might be 30 million now.
Because you guys all live like on the coasts, right? Like no one really lives like in the middle of Australia.
Yeah, the only thing happening in the middle of Australia is fucking lizards fucking.
It is close. And Cooperpedy, a place so hot they live underground.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Brisbane's only got 2.2 million in it.
3.2 million. So Dallas has probably more than that.
So the metro area population of Dallas-Fort Worth in 2021 was 6,397,000.
So about twice what Brisbane has.
And that's like Dallas and Fort Worth combined.
Yeah.
Right. And that's excluding areas like McKinney and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How do you know about McKinney?
He's been here. Oh no, it's got McKinney. Yeah, that's Dallas, Tarrant, Denton County, and Collin County.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
y'all are
the people I stayed with
lesson,
lived in McKinney.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You know,
if you want to understand why Australia is so big, yet there's so little people there, if you look along the east coast, which we just refer to as we don't, because that's where all the people are, there's a giant mountain range called the Great Dividing Range. And rain clouds can't really get over it, so all the water drops down on just the east coastline, and that's where all the trees are. If you look at a map of all of Australia, and then everything else is just fuck off desert.
Yeah.
You just can't live there. It's inhospitable, and people build cities there anyway. And then all the way over on the west is Perth, which isn't even like a coastline. We just call it Perth.
Like, okay, does everyone in Australia kind of look at Perth like they're the weirdos? It's like, why do you live way the fuck over there?
If they weren't so good at AFL, yeah, we would.
Is it like how people in the U.S. look at people from Maine? Except not as cold.
Pretty much. It's like they do good wine and they kick a ball pretty well. So because of that, Perth isn't exactly disrespected.
Oh, gotcha.
I see.
The real one is Darwin.
Darwin?
I'm scared of people from Darwin. They're as close to the equator as you can get. There's nothing there. It sucks.
Where is Darwin in Australia? I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I looked at an Australian map.
Like, because that's like where the swampy crocodile type shit is, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of crocodiles, you guys have like all kinds of crazy, deadly shit there. So I've seen
that's all Americans ever want to talk about when it comes to Australia is the weird ass animals.
Your deadly shit that you have there.
I mean, it's like sometimes it's like, oh no, it's just like urban legend, and other times like, yeah, I've seen a blue ring octopus at the beach before.
Oh Jesus! What about like a fucking like what are those huntsman spiders?
Yeah, they're around.
So what do you do with those crazy ass poisonous spiders? You just kind of like, oh yeah, you're chilling there. Guess I'll walk around.
Yeah, they usually don't bother you if you don't bother them.
Yeah.
That's good.
There was a bird-eating spider when I was like 8, just chilling on the veranda.
Oh,
wait,
that was fun.
Australia has bird-eating spiders?
Yeah, it was big on tarantulas.
At least one from what I've seen.
Whoa! I knew they got them down in South America, but I didn't know they had them in Australia.
Yeah, they
it's
shit.
Even like the wildlife that isn't deadly. It's swooping season at the moment, which means if you walk past a magpie's nest, it'll try to attack you.
Yes! Oh my god, I've seen videos of those fucking magpies.
Like people on their bikes trying to ride around. There's magpies just swooping the shit out of them.
Listen, one of my passions is animals attacking humans, okay? So I've watched a lot of these magpie videos, and they just don't give a fuck. They just hate people so goddamn much. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're just minding your own business. You're gonna get fucking dive bombed.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, like, in the upcoming months, there's going to be, like, signs that are just put up where it's like, yo, watch out. It's a genuine problem.
Is it? And it's just, is that just, like, in your area? Because it wouldn't be all over the country. It would just be in, like, certain parts, right?
It gets more deadly the further into the center of Australia you get. You want to know something interesting? The 10 most deadly snakes in Australia, in the world. I might have given away the punchline here. 7 of them are in Australia.
Jeez.
And then there's the box jellyfish, and then there's
but those only go way out.
There's some plants that are like pretty heinous.
Cone
too.
shells are the worst because you just don't look at them. It's some type of urchin thing that's like just in Bondi that can stab your foot.
Yeah.
So you live like in the middle of like the dangerous, most fucking hostile fucking territory, and you're learning sumo while living there.
Yeah, but we built a city, and that keeps most of it out.
Okay. I'm gonna say something really stupid now. Have you ever thought about putting a mawashi on a kangaroo?
Not even once, but now it's all
Okay.
So
it's terrifying to think of it.
So do kangaroos and fucking like wallabies just kind of like wander into like people's yards and dig in the trash and shit? And
the further out you go, it can be. There's a few golf courses that got like wallabies just kind of chilling around.
It's probably like
Sirame Wineries, fair bit north, and you can just see kangaroos just hanging out in the backyard there.
Yeah, probably like the bears up in like the Northwest, the Pacific Northwest, where they have to like lock their trash cans because the bears will just come into their yard and try to fucking.
Like Alaska, they got the moose. The moose do that.
Oh, in Alaska too, yeah.
Apparently, like
every like month or two, there's like a news story of like some town that's like along a highway that just gets terrorized by like a 2-meter tall red kangaroo. That's just like just running around and being a problem. People can't walk their dogs anymore.
Oh no.
So the kangaroo just bullies the neighborhood?
Yeah. It's just like, what are you doing walking towards me?
So if I went to Australia and I wanted to live in a tank and have a kangaroo boyfriend...
I would advise against that.
Are you sure?
No living in tanks.
I can't stop you.
I can't be the tank girl.
You know, try it. See what happens.
Yeah, then you're gonna have to hang out with Ice-T and fight Malcolm McDowell. Are you about that life?
I might be, actually.
All right, we have strayed.
We have strayed very so far from the fucking topic.
Okay,
hey, I did try to get it back on topic by asking about
it's
sumo kangaroos.
Almost a rite of passage when you're talking to someone as an Australian, where it's like, wildlife. Let's do this bit for 5 minutes.
Listen, I tried really hard not to.
I waited till I at least knew you for like some months first.
Fair enough. But I am fascinated by the current state of amateur sumo. It feels like it's about to go off, doesn't it?
It does.
It really does.
There's been a whole swelling of YouTubers, just, people that have nothing to do with sumo, all of a sudden hanging out with sumo wrestlers. You see Yama all over the place.
PewDiePie, Eddie Hall. There was some other people that just randomly just put up sumo videos around the same time.
Sensei Seth has actually joined. I think he actually officially
he's a part
Raijin.
Of Raijin Sumo now.
Yeah, Raijin Sumo Club in South Carolina. Shit, Matt has been on a couple of
What's that with Preston and Brianna? There's some YouTubers that are based around the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and they do a lot of...
that have like millions of followers.
Yeah, it's freaking wild. But that was a lot of fun. They just wanted somebody to be a sumo wrestler and knock a bunch of stuff around. So I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Dumb deal.
Yeah.
But other than the whole swelling of people, I guess doing vlogs, is that what that is? Making videos
and
there's a whole bunch of like Macy was in a movie. I can't remember the name of the movie that he was in.
He was?
Yeah, and then you had Yama was in John Wick, and then
that's right.
Who was it that was in Sanctuary? Shizuuchi from Sanctuary was in John Wick 4.
Yeah,
really?
Yama wasn't in as a sumo though. He was just there as an enormous human.
Yeah.
Yeah,
an impossible to kill human. Yeah, he was very hard to kill in that.
He gets shot in the head, and then like John does a phone call, and then like he tries to get up, and then gets shot in the head again, and that's what finally kills him.
But it just seems like sumo's everywhere these days, and I'm really freaking loving it.
Because something I've noticed, because like Sanctuary put it in the public mind a lot, but like people that are like 40 and older, I notice this a lot where it's like you'll mention sumo to them, and if they know about it, they go, "Oh, I used to see that they used to be on TV."
Yeah.
And then it went away, and I've had no idea how to find it again for the last 20 years. And then they'll ask you questions. It's like, "Oh, how do I watch this? Oh, what's this? Oh, and they're suddenly really interested." So something that's holding it back that can really be fixed is just straight up attention, where it's like, no, you can watch live sumo.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's one of the things that I noticed as well whenever I was younger. And we were talking to Caleb Backus. You met Caleb Backus from Mighty Eagle. He
big bull guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he was telling us that when he first got into sumo, it was whenever I think it was in the 90s. He was in high school. And that's whenever the Hawaiians... A lot of people say the 90s. Yeah, the Hawaiians were still, active. So there was like Kanishiki, Musashimaru, and Akibono. So he was able to watch those guys, or at least the highlights, because ESPN, right. That's the, American Sports Network channel, whatever. Yeah. But they would actually show the sumo highlights, and that was really fucking cool. And in Europe, they had Eurosport, and I think they had French and English audio, and that was really fucking cool. You could still find a lot of that old Eurosport stuff on YouTube. It's really awesome. But
in Australia, we had SBS. In Australia, we had SBS, which was there's the regular TV channels, and then there's SBS, which is like the foreign stuff, where it's like at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday, they'll do the Greek news or something like that.
Oh, weird.
Half an hour in Greek.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit.
So they would do sumo at like Friday or Saturday night or something for those who wanted to watch it. That's how we got it back then.
See, the only time that I ever really remember sumo from back then was the European Amateur Sumo Championships. And
right.
Yeah, it was really fucking cool. And I just remember, just drinking whiskey in my underwear, staring at the TV like, dude, what the fuck? But whenever...
So there is
Go ahead.
Definitely people ready to watch sumo. Because, from my show, from Leo Dickens, from... Mm-hmm. I don't know what they're called, but they change all the time because they keep getting deleted because it's just the raw NHK footage or a BEMA. There's a guy who does, both of those simultaneously and Midnight Sumo. There's about 3,000 people that watch sumo live each night.
Yeah.
And that number can very easily grow just because the ignorance of those people, of those channels, that there's people that don't know it's there.
Exactly.
And then there's guys like Nato that gets up to 10K views on his highlights every night as well.
Yeah, and then his stuff keeps getting deleted too.
It's
only on YouTube.
As far as amateur sumo, though, one of the issues, and I can't confirm this, but this is something that I have heard from people who are apparently in the know, at least for the US, there was a lot of hesitancy with producing content for amateur sumo here for a pretty long time before the last couple of years when all these new clubs started popping up, and especially clubs like Dallas, where you have the head coach is what would you call him? A videographer? Is that the
filmmaker?
term? Yeah, he's
Film dude.
He's
Film
like
dude.
super fucking like content creator, audio visual dude. And so of course the first thing he's going to want to do after he starts his club is start making videos for it. And I think that's one of the reasons why, again, at least in the US, it has blown up so much lately, is because you are now having these younger folks coming in who are more savvy with like online content and getting this stuff in front of other people's eyeballs. And even then, some of the old establishment is kind of, I don't know, probably jealous or whatever, but
But I've noticed that the content, especially here lately, that has been involving sumo wrestlers has been people that aren't necessarily involved in sumo, just wanting to be around it or wanting to explore it, or it's something new and novel to them. I'm starting to notice more and more content coming from amateur sumo wrestlers themselves.
Yes.
But I really do think that it was Corey and Dallas that kind of broke the mold. But there are people that have already been recording their Keikos, like Dark Circle records their Keikos, Mighty Eagle, Raijin, Rain City, frickin' Ohio. I think both Ohio's do. So it's people are wanting to watch themselves, wanting to watch tape or watch tape of other people, try to pick up some new techniques, try to learn some new training, and especially people that are just now starting sumo or wanting to explore sumo, they can watch the videos and practice along with us.
Yeah, and learn from the videos. That is very useful for new people. But I kind of wish there were some more official platform for, not only getting pro sumo in front of people who want to see it, but also amateur sumo. And not just in the US, but all over.
Yeah.
Well, Sabrina.
What's up?
I have good news.
Really?
Sumo Primetime are going to be live streaming day 2 and day 13 of this bar show.
Live streaming?
Both 2 hours of it.
Wow.
With Hiro Moita on commentary.
Holy shit, I hadn't heard that yet.
That means we get to harass them.
That's awesome. Oh,
Yes.
you bet your ass I'm going to be on there fucking harassing
So this
them.
is what I've been umming and ahhing about for the last year come to reality. There is now an official way on YouTube to watch pro sumo.
Even if it's not the whole basho, that's a good
It's a
start.
start.
Yeah.
If it goes well, if they start making money off it, they can easily turn it into a 15-day thing. And then I can retire.
But that's what I like to do, is to talk shit about the sumo world, whether it be amateur or pro. So even if there is an official way to watch, I'm still going to be recording myself running my mouth about it. So.
We have opinions, damn it.
You should have subscribed to Salt City Sumo on YouTube then, because that's about a lot of what we do.
Hell yeah! And I am subscribed.
So many people come into our chat and it's like, oh man, it's really refreshing to hear you, because like I said, I don't think this guy is good, and they banned me for it because I'm supposed to respect sumo. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here, here comes fucking Kagiyaki dork. No
Kagiyaki's a
no one
fucking
likes
dork.
Kagiyaki.
I know, fucking banana titties ass motherfucker. It's like,
I know, right? Get him out of here. Back to Jirio.
I know, right? Shit. So, and that's the thing. You can still respect sumo. I have the utmost respect for sumo. I am a sumotori. I just like to talk shit. It's
Why
fun.
do people pretend that even the Rikishi themselves don't have a sense of humor? I mean, come on.
There's all
Also,
these...
it doesn't have to be all
to
super
any
serious
bar.
and ceremonial all the time.
Go to any bar for any sport ever at night, and what do you hear? This fucking ref. Why'd they put this guy on the team? Coach doesn't know what he's fucking doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you know what?
Those
I bet
people
you anything you
love
hear
that
the
sport.
same thing at bars in Japan playing sumo at those fucking bars, and people sitting around the fucking bar saying, oh, this fucking Kyoji doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
It's like, what are you doing, oh no show? Get out of there.
Exactly.
Yeah, those people screaming at the TV love that sport more than anything else. Mm-hmm. They respect it immensely. They've spent their life watching it and playing it and learning about it. So, like, when I see this attitude where it's like, you have to respect the whole, it's a religious tradition, you have to respect the whole thing, we have to honor the culture. No, we don't.
I mean, you can do both, honestly, because I respect it from, like, the cultural and, it's not my religion, but I respect, their, religious practices. And even if you think about it, it's not necessarily like a huge active mainstream religion as much as it is just, something that's infused within, Japanese culture and society at large. It's part of their identity and who they are, so I can respect that. But I can respect that, and I could say that fucking Kagayaki's a dork in the same fucking breath, and that's okay. Yeah. They do it too. In Japan, you ever see any of these like little blogs or YouTube channels that people do? If you like start playing it and, run the auto translate, those guys are talking just as much shit as we are. So.
Dude, I have been on Japanese sumo forums. Yeah. And I mean, it's a translation, yeah, but they talk just as much shit about like all the same stuff that we do.
Yeah, really. Even sumo Twitter.
Yeah.
And what's funny is on sumo Twitter, they're tickled by some of the things that we say, like calling Takakeisho battle hamster.
Yeah.
Yeah, they thought that was fucking hilarious. That made national headlines in Japan. They're like, and foreigners like to call him battle hamster.
Yeah, no, there's you see things like that where like just trying to figure out, well, what do the other people do? What are they going on about? Because a third of Assault City's audience is Japanese for some reason.
Oh, that's
awesome.
Wow,
really?
Yeah, and I assume it's just like, middle-aged Japanese people going like,
that makes
like,
me
I know sumo, but like, what are these guys on about? Like, why do these weird white boys, why do they care? What's going on here?
That makes me kind of curious, like, what percentage of our audience is Japanese, and now I want to look it up.
Well, we have that one Japanese friend, Yuki, hi Yuki, at the Glitter Factory in Tokyo, and whenever Sanctuary came out, and they had all of those promotional, like, murals, I mean, huge murals. One of them was like a Rikishi laying on his side, and it was either a train stop or a bus stop, but she, sent us all of these pictures of her crazy adventures in Ryogoku, where all of these giant Sanctuary murals were. It was really fucking cool. And Yuki's always, sending us all kinds of cool shit.
Oh, wow. 5% of our listeners are from Taiwan.
So do we
speak English there?
Oh, about 1% are Japanese.
1%, so that's Yuki.
I win.
Thanks, Yuki.
Because we don't really have a lot of followers built up yet, but...
There's my most treasured watcher of the show that I genuinely appreciate more than everyone else, and I'm saying this sincerely, is there's this one Russian name that I don't know how to pronounce, but it has the letters B and K in it. Oh. So his name is BK.
BK.
And he types something in Japanese. It's the same sentence every time. And it basically just says, hello, thank you for putting on the show, and then a wave emoji. And whenever that happens, you can watch literally any day of our show, and it'll just be, hi, BK.
That's awesome.
And that's the only thing he will say for the entire 2 hours, but he'll still be there.
Hell yeah.
I wonder if he'd get it if I started referring to him as Burger King.
Burger King. He is.
I accept that. There was one time he ever said anything. And it was 5 minutes into him saying hello. He goes, hello, show title day 11, but it is day 12. Please fix.
Oh.
To update the episode, and he was right.
Oh, it was like, oh, shit. Thanks, BK.
Yeah, thanks, BK. I'll get her right
Buy
on
that man a burger.
Yeah. But, what's really funny is I think that sometimes people that watch pro sumo and only pro sumo and they want to, stick everything on this pedestal, I think they're just afraid of being offensive or afraid of trying to I don't know, but in doing that and being like super protective and not wanting to step on any toes, walking in eggshells over someone else's, cultural export, they end up being super gatekeepery about it.
Yeah, they like to gatekeep something that's not even theirs to begin with.
Yeah, they're like, well, sumo's my super secret clubhouse, and I know everything about sumo, and you don't. You're just some noob, and you can't talk that way.
Show.
Yeah.
I'm actually
it's a public
curious.
broadcast TV show.
I know, right?
I'm curious how many people who do follow pro sumo follow more than just the boss shows, though. Like, how many people are viewing the Junyo content?
I love the Junyo stuff.
They literally have comedy sumo that they do during these tours, which is like some of my favorite things that they do.
Hell yeah, that sounds great. Was it called a Shokiri, I think?
I can't remember the exact term for it. Yeah. We'll have to put it in our game show episode that we've been working on for about a year now.
As someone who broadcasts the 2 hours of Top Division, all 15 days of all Basha, subscribe to Salt City Sumo. I didn't even know about that kind of stuff until I saw guys like Chris Sumo doing that. So I had to go out of my way to find tangential content to actually learn about that part of the sport.
That's kind of what happened to us as well. Whenever we first got into sumo was 2018. So we only had a little bit to kind of really get the hang of things before the pandemic happened, and then they shut all that shit down. So now that they're doing the Junyo stuff, it's just like, it's super fucking interesting, because now that we've become a lot more educated and informed about sumo, seeing the Junyo is it brings me a lot more joy. And you can see the Rikishi just being dudes. They're not trying to look all stoic, and they're not trying to put on that fucking, that...
Yeah, they're just being themselves.
Yeah, they're doing shit like, pinching each other's nipples and fucking sack tapping each other and fucking, just being jackasses. And it's great. It's just like, see, those are 20-something-year-old dudes just being jackasses. It's like, yep, it's a global phenomenon. Mm-hmm. But I love the Junyo stuff, and what I really love is those stupid fucking Japanese game shows or talk shows that they go on.
Oh, yeah.
Like where you had like Abi picking up that fish and harassing Matakayumi with it. He's just holding this at Matakayumi's like, what? No, just like holding him at arm's length, and Abi's just tormenting him with the fish.
Fantastic.
It's so stupid. I know, it's just so silly. It's almost teeny bopper-ish in a way. It's just like, oh my god, I need to see my sumo guys doing all kinds of crazy off-the-wall shit. But I just love that stuff.
But I think going back to the original point is, yeah, you do have these people that have kind of a skewed view of what to expect in amateur sumo because of the kind of content they're consuming when it comes to pro sumo.
Yeah, no, that is something I learned very suddenly, where it's like the way you look at the Torikumi or the Banzuke, even like the lower half of Top Division, you kind of like dismiss.
Yeah, I can't remember those people's names half the time, to be quite honest.
I have them all memorized.
That's no harsh criticism, it's just the way the Banzuke is structured, where you only look to the top. But, like I was saying, Mina Minashima, a retired 2008 retired 3rd Division guy, would only ever beat Australia's best Rikishi. It's like, unless you actually get into amateur sumo yourself and really try to compete, you don't understand the skill gap that's there. And I think that's where that kind of attitude comes from.
Exactly, yeah.
And to me, that's unfortunate, because as one of those athletes, we work hard, and whenever you see people like Eric Wynn and Mark Jones and freaking Joe Ponsetto, fucking JJ Jones, Justin Kizzard, these fucking international competitors, fucking Edabo, these dudes work... Kellyanne, fucking hell yeah, Kellyanne.
Yeah.
But work their asses off so hard. They do it every day, but they don't live the lifestyle. They have to have jobs, support themselves, do that. Given that, they still get out there, practice their discipline, they increase their skill level, and they just fucking do it. And to me, that's important. That's the thing. And whenever people, like I saw on Leo Dickinson's little comment page, just those snide little remarks, it made me feel like they were just like completely just ignoring, the amount of like hard work and passion, that we put into it. And it's just like, fuck you armchair ass Oyakata. You don't know shit. Never done a Shiko in your entire fucking life.
Well, that's when you've made it, when you get haters, right? Isn't that how it goes?
Oh, yeah, yes.
Yeah, so you should be happy. You should be proud of yourself.
I wouldn't be too quick to completely dismiss them, because it is possible they just don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Where it's like, I was never able to contextualize how good 3rd Division was until I saw a 3rd Division guy go at it. And then it's like, I get it now. I didn't for the previous year, but now I get it.
Yeah, there was a guy that lives in Florida. His name's Soslan, but when he was in the Makuuchi division, his Shikona was Wakanoho. And he wrestled. There's a little video of him. There's a guy in Florida named Jordan Sykes. I think he just turned 18. He's either 17 or 18. He's a champion weightlifter, and he's a footballer. He's like 6'7", and that's like well over 2 meters, about maybe 2.25 meters. He weighs up. No, I think he weighs about maybe 350, something like that. He's a big boy, but he's a very muscular boy. And this dude, I think the only person that he didn't beat at some of these recent Florida tournaments was Mark Jones. Like, Mark Jones, the Ginger Gorilla, he's a titan. Seriously, this dude is built like fucking Thanos, and he just manhandles everybody. So, Jordan Sykes usually gives him a pretty good fight, but to see Wakanoho just fucking... All Jordan Sykes did was, he tachi'd him, and he's, trying to drive. He can't move the dude. He's just kind of and he's standing up straight, damn near straight. Like, oh yeah, let's see what you got. And he's like, okay, you're going down now. And then just kind of like does, a couple of spins, and Uwatanage's him, fucking like grabs the back of his head and just fucking throws him like he was a fucking little rag doll, little teddy bear, little something. It was just like, whoa. And it was on Instagram. I just watched that video on a loop over and over again of just Wakanoho manhandling Jordan Sykes. It's like, Jesus. Because I just never saw anyone other than Mark Jones really give Jordan Sykes that hard of a time.
That reminds me of something, actually. Biamba, was he ever pro?
I think Biamba was pro. I think he might have gone to Makushita, if I'm remembering correctly.
Okay, because for some reason that just made me remember that one video of him lifting up fucking Kelly Knighting.
Oh, yeah.
Who's a huge fucking dude, and just slamming him on the fucking mat. Oh, God, that just... it makes me happy every time I see it. But that's for other reasons.
Yeah. And then, okay, so think about the World Games, too. So we have guys like, Gilberto De La Torre.
Before we go too far, Biamba, highest rank, Makushita, 15 in March 2005.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
dude was fucking skilled. For sure.
Yeah, he took
R.I.P. Biamba.
R.I.P. Biamba.
Yeah.
He did take several world titles, amateur world titles, if I'm not mistaken.
World Combat Games, gold in 2013 in the heavyweight, and then bronze in open weight in Beijing.
Man.
Hang on, in 2013 and 2010 Beijing, he got bronze. And then in the World Games in 2009, he got gold as well.
Yeah, he was the real deal.
And every single US Sumo Open he entered.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which really just emphasizes the point I was making earlier, is like, that's what a 3rd Division pro guy can do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what I, where I was wanting to go with that is there was Ono Sato, whose real name, Daiki Nakamura, was at the World Games in Birmingham, Alabama. I'm going to have to go back and try to watch videos. I don't remember if any of the American guys got to fight him. I think maybe Gil did, Gilberto.
And that's another thing, too, not to, interrupt you, but with the World Games... They didn't even stream the whole thing. They had highlights, and then afterward, you couldn't even find it anymore.
I know. That sucks.
The only content you can find for it now is where we had recorded somebody in the audience live streaming it from their phone.
Yeah. I mean, you could find a couple of some people have ripped it and posted it now. You'll find it you kind of have to go to page 3 and 4 of the YouTube search.
Yeah, but for a long time, our content was the only content for the World Games.
And that's actually our most watched content.
Yeah, the 2022 World Games. And unfortunately, we weren't even able to get all of it because we were having technical issues. But anyway, back to what you were saying.
So, Daiki Nakamura, I think he got the gold in, was it open weight?
It's something.
I think it was.
I've slept a few times since then.
I know that Hidatora Hanada got the gold in regulation, I think, and I think Daiki Nakamura got the gold in open weight, or it could have been inversed. Whatever. All I'm really saying is that he's in Juryo now. Onosato is in Juryo. So there are people, on
Congratulations.
Yeah.
But there's people on the amateur level, on the international amateur level, that have fought those kinds of people, that have fought those kinds of competitors. Mm-hmm. And there is a fucking skill gap, But that means that there are American sumotori that could potentially get that high.
Yeah. Every pro Rikishi starts out as an amateur in some way or another. Some of them even start out never having done sumo before at all.
Yeah, look at, what was his name? Sintoryu. He's from St. Louis, Missouri. His name's, I think it's Henry Miller. But yeah, Sintoryu, I think he's half Japanese and half African-American, grew up in Japan, and, I think he got to the Makuuchi division. I think he got to lower Maegashira ranks. I can't quite remember. But he has his own YouTube channel, and he's been putting a lot of his old fights on there. And, that dude, his power is palpable. Even if you're just watching these old grainy videos of him, you could just see ripples through the other Rikishi's bodies from his fucking Tachiai. That dude was brutal.
Yeah, so when these people say, oh, look at these wannabe Jonokuchi, yeah, dude, some of them actually are. And a few of those may actually get there.
I know, right? But, and then there was, we can't forget Waka Ichiro. Waka Ichiro from fucking Houston, Texas. I think he got to Sandanme. I don't know if he made it to Makushita, but I think he might have gotten as high as Sandanme. But that was, another fucking, American that had been in sumo. So there've been, Westerners, people that have done really well on the amateur circuit that have crossed over into pro sumo. Not just Japanese and Mongolian people or, some of the Eastern Europeans that we see, in the pros. There have actually been Americans as well. And even though the amateur scene may not be as well funded just as of yet, we may not have a whole lot of resources. We might have to do things really DIY.
We might get kicked out of the World Games for stupid reasons.
But hey, we're making it work. We're bringing sumo to the people, to those who want it. And
we're trying, damn it.
Yeah, if you're just one of those purists, that thinks that the only sumo is Grand Sumo, then you're missing out. You're missing out on a lot.
The community just by itself is so welcoming and so willing to just be there for each other and help each other grow and succeed. It's not
100%.
It's not like any other martial art that I've ever experienced. This is a completely different community than any other, not even just martial art, but any other sport that I can think of.
Yeah, no, 100%. I've collaborated with a lot of people on Subscribe to Soul City Sumo on YouTube. And the way I did it wasn't through any, finagling or charisma or anything. I just said, hey, do you want to talk about sumo? And you know what they said? Yes. So it's really that simple. We had Jason on the channel. And it was just hey man, you want to come on the show and talk sumo? And he said yes. And that's just how it's been with everyone. Or it's everyone who does sumo gets so into sumo. And it's everyone else around it is just so happy to have someone else to chat the mo with,
Yeah.
It's that's the experience I've had. Everyone has so much love for everyone else doing sumo.
Exactly. It wants to encourage other people to at least try it out. and wants to encourage each other to get to that next skill level so that they have someone, more skilled to test their own skills out against and stuff.
And once you actually do sumo, just competing in amateur sumo, it gives you a major perspective of how much freaking power and strength that the pro Rikishi have. And you really do see them more as demigods in that capacity. Just to have that much skill and that much strength. It's just like, wow, that's fucking gnar.
Yeah, no, it's taken a while to get a good touch here. And, even now, I look at, Asuna Yama, and it's like, man.
He's a battering
I think I'm getting somewhere. And then I look at Hokuto Fuji, and it's like, man.
I know, I need to practice my Tachi. My Tachi is very weak right now.
You were talking about, amateur sumo being, disconnected earlier. And, we're making efforts to, really bring everything together. I'm, in my own way, trying to, unite all the sumo people under one thing. It's because I sort of see it as YouTube-wise, subscribe to Salt City Sumo on YouTube. We're disconnected, and so that's what all the collaborations have been. I got together with Dallas Sumo Club. I chatted up Corey, brought him on the show. We started chatting. I flew over. I'm meeting more people and trying to bring about the community in my own way. You guys do sumo and you go to other people's competitions. That's a big part of it as well. But because it's so disconnected, you look at pro sumo and it's what's the top of the mountain? Yokozuna. Got it. What's the most important thing to win? The Emperor's Cup. How do you do that? By going up the Banzuke. Got it. It is incredibly cut and dry.
Yeah.
And even the alternate leagues where it's there's a university scene and everyone in the university scene understands we're not on the Banzuke. And then you go to the high school scene and what's everyone in the high school scene trying to do? Get good enough to get on the Banzuke.
Yeah.
What's the top of the mountain in amateur sumo?
Honestly, it's pretty much the same. Get on the Banzuke. There's just a lot more hurdles for people outside of Japan,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
and even if you don't make it to pro, I would say some of the very top goals would be the World Championships in Japan, the World Sumo Championships in Japan, which are actually happening later this month, aren't they?
No, October.
Or the beginning of October.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming up soon.
October 6th and 7th.
I actually have a bunch of stuff I have to do to prepare for that. But, that's one of the things. And then, of course, there's the World Games, which is one step down from the Olympics.
There's World Combat Games.
World Combat Games, yes.
And,
love the thing.
So to me, there's, these regional tournaments, like the Grand Rapids Tournament, Consulates Cup, Cowboy Cup. Then you have these national tournaments, like nationals. And the U.S. Sumo Open, is pretty much like an international tournament. It's on a national scale, but with international competitors.
Yeah.
And then...
and just recently, the Scottish Sumo Open.
Yeah.
Which... my mate Scott Finley put together and had a massive tournament, and it's going to be bigger next year.
I know, that's going to be so fucking cool.
And we will go to it next year.
European Cup at this point.
Yeah, there was the Swiss Sumo Open as well. What's that? Didn't Eric win and Edibo?
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, and then what I was going to say too is even some of these regional tournaments get international competitors. At the Consulates Cup, we actually had.
There was Kokai. Kokai was a former Maegashira. No, was he a Komusubi?
I believe he was a Komusubi, yeah. Former Komusubi, Kokai.
Yeah, Kokai. No, I think he might have just been a Maegashira. Anyway, he was a former Makuuchi Rikishi from Georgia, and he brought his little buddy Zura with him. And Zura actually was the European champion. I don't remember the exact years, but multi-winner, multi-state.
Multi-year European champion.
Yes, thank you. But yeah, that guy was a brute. No one could beat that guy. Yeah. He manhandled all of our strongest dudes. He just fucking But that's the type of thing that I want to foster, though. I want there to be more people from all over the place just meeting up over a love of sumo, and I think it could happen. Shit, it's already happening. You know, Gagamaru and Kokai and Zura, there's going to be more people coming, from Japan. Hakuho came to Canada. I bet we could convince him to come to Texas if we try hard enough.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Corey,
if you're listening to this, Hakuho came to Canada and you didn't go, JJ. Why didn't you go?
Oh, no.
I was going to say, I'm fairly certain that Corey and Siggy are going to somehow manipulate Tochinoshin into coming to Texas sometime within the next year or so.
Yeah, did you ever meet Russ in the Dallas team?
There was a lot of people, man. What did he look like?
He's kind of like got short cropped hair, and he's got what would you say, blue eyes?
He's a white guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he bought me an AMF at the after party.
Yeah, that guy. So that's Russ. Russ was wearing a Tochinoshin shirt at the Consulate's Cup, and Kokai saw him and it was like, oh yeah, that's a cool shirt. Took a picture of it and then texted it to Tochinoshin.
Yeah.
So
nice.
I'm hoping that starts some rumblings, because you know how Corey ended up getting Gagamaru, or actually I think it was Siggy that got Gagamaru. They just got drunk and called him.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
They just called him on Instagram.
That's awesome.
and he answered.
Oh my god.
Isn't that just what I was saying? Where it's like, hey, you want to talk sumo? And then the sumo person said yes.
Yes.
Isn't that something?
Yes. That's so cool. I never even heard that story before, but that checks out, I think.
We were there.
Wait,
we were
what?
there. It was after the Cowboy Cup. And it was you and me and fucking Jake from Grand Sumo Breakdown. Like, Jake was all drunk. I think you were all drunk and I was all sober.
It was at that after party?
Yeah, and we were all laying on the floor, and then Corey came and was like, everybody shh, 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 and he ran through the house while he was on the phone, and then he ran out, That's who he was talking to.
Oh my god. You can literally just call X Rikishi on Instagram.
I know. Just fucking call
I can't
Gagamaru.
believe it. Oh my god.
Higo Hikari, here I come.
Holy shit.
But I think more...
You bring up something that I don't know if it's helping or hurting amateur sumo, but it's like Caleb wants to go to the Japanese university scene and compete. Edo wants to go pro.
Yeah.
The best people, some of the best people in amateur sumo, want to leave amateur sumo.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about the college or, the university circuit in Japan, that's still technically amateur.
Yeah.
Even within the rule set, whenever you get the Sandanme or Makushita Tsukadashi, whenever they say, oh, well, you won the All Japan sumo tournament, so that means you could join the pros as Makushita 15. So whenever they do that, it's like you have to win one of four major amateur titles. Mm-hmm. But they do specify, they say this is an amateur title. But it's a lot more serious.
It is.
The competition is
it's
a lot
also
more
a level
fierce.
above amateur, though.
That's what I was about to say. It's definitely that transition area, because whenever kids in high school join pro sumo, they're joining as 16-year-old kids and Jonakuchi and then Jonadan, and they're still going to sumo school. They're still learning, and they haven't built up that physique. They're still they're still kids. And that's kind of where I was just like, a 16-year-old kid, yeah, maybe he's got some skill, but you got a 24-year-old fucking giant, huge fucking Mongolian dude, probably going to lose to the Mongolian dude.
Another thing, too, is that they're only allowed to have one foreigner per stable.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
even if you want to go pro, there's a huge chance that it's never going to happen.
Yeah, like what happened to Mende, I mean,
Yeah.
that's unfortunate because he is so fucking good, and I know he probably could have gone up to, the Makuuchi division, but...
I see what you're saying, Goose. It sounds like you're saying that we need to have some sort of structure in amateur sumo that encourages these top players to stick with amateur sumo. Something that incentivizes them to continue to be part of this form of sumo. And how is that done? I mean, I'm sure lots of people have lots of opinions about it.
And see, you have guys like Sumo Dan and Cornelius Booker that are doing things like these What was the tournament that they did? Not the one that they're doing in Orlando. That's Mr. Atlas. What was the other one that they did recently?
Was it
Mr. America?
Something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It was Sumo Dan's. But it was like a bodybuilder expo.
It was some sort of Mr. Manly Man fucking expo.
No, it was a bodybuilding fitness expo, and Sumo Dan booked a sumo tournament there, but he had some stipulations. It was invitation only, and he only invited competitors that had been either medaled in national tournaments, or I think maybe even medaled in international tournaments, but he really only had some hardcore players, and he made them compete traditional. No one could wear the compression shorts.
Yeah,
but
you had to show your butt cheeks or you couldn't do it.
So he wanted to do it because he wanted there to be, an elite level of amateur competition. And I'm all about that. I really do think there should be, if we could coalesce some people, have there be that super high, hardcore, honed your skill level of competition. Whenever you see guys like Eric Wynn have to fight somebody that just started sumo 6 months ago, it's all Eric Wynn has to do is just kind of like shove him out a couple of times and they go flying. But when Eric Wynn fights somebody that's a seasoned vet, like Gilberto De La Torre, they're in there for a while. You don't know who's going to win. You could see some high speed chess moving. It's not one sided. But I really do think
Eric is the best example we have of why your Tachiai matters.
Yeah.
Yes.
The amount of people I've seen him beat without actually fighting is ridiculous.
I know, that's fucking insane. There's a new guy, I think is he part of Dark Circle or Mighty Eagle, but his name is Jay, is it Scriven?
I don't
I'm
even
sorry,
know.
Jay, if I'm mispronouncing your last name. I'm going to say Scriven, because that's just what I think it is, but his Tachiai is like getting hit by a fucking like Volkswagen Beetle. Like it just hurts that fucking much, and you could just see the impact on people. Man, he hinked my ass. I was waiting for that Tachiai, and he fucking hinked me.
Oh, I remember who you're talking about now. Okay, yeah. Because everybody was surprised to see that.
I know.
Even, I think it was Jake. It was either Jake or Jared who was saying like, oh yeah, Matt's really going to want this, to feel this Tachiai. And then he just like jumps to the side and everyone's like, oh, Matt didn't get his meat smacked.
But I really do want there to be like that super high rung of just intense competition where the best of the best of the best could just really let loose and not have to worry about hurting anybody.
Part of the issue in the U.S. is that the overarching governing body of U.S. amateur sumo is...
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to go into detail on it, but it's not exactly very effective at a lot of the goals that the rest of the U.S. sumo community wants to work toward. So there is that.
Right, that's a whole situation I could sort of understand.
Yeah.
It's been partially explained to me by other people, but it doesn't sound very pleasant.
Yeah.
But you're talking about like the big competition for everyone to do. Well, the thing that got me I only speak English. The thing that got me started about this whole situation was when I was in Dallas with you guys, and Hayden says to me, wouldn't it be cool if there was an American Banzuke? And I was in that moment, even then, I thought about it and said, that sounds great, but that could only work if there was money in it, because people wouldn't want to risk their jobs and, themselves for an amateur Banzuke. The problem with that is the only way you can put money in it is by putting people in it.
Yeah.
So,
and there have been tournaments that have had cash prizes. I know.
But not something where like they could actually be considered a professional athlete.
Oh yeah, you definitely can't live off of it. I think the one that I'm thinking of was in Houston, had like a $200 cash prize or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not a lot at all. But if we had some sort of like functional fundraising,
infrastructure and consistent funding.
That's the word, fucking infrastructure, then, we might be able to get to that level eventually. But it's hard to tell
how it's
going to go right now.
Someone has to do it first.
Yeah.
All right, I'm saying this. If I ever win the fucking Powerball, the lottery, if I, get the wild hair up my ass to buy a lottery ticket and I actually win the billions of dollars, that's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to give some money to my tribe. I'm going to buy a house and my mama a house and then my dad a house. And then I'm going to fucking build a fucking goddamn national sumo infrastructure.
No, you know what we do if
and
that
get
ever happens?
NHK streaming rights for Salt City Sumo.
Yeah!
Do you know what we actually do if that ever happens? We start our own fucking sumo federation.
We'll be a pro federation. You're a pro sumo federation of America.
Not like
not actual,
pro,
not
but
Ozumo,
yeah.
but athletes that could, maybe.
We have to find another term for it, because if everybody's like referring to Grand Sumo or Ozumo as pro sumo, then like what is the top level amateur sumo? Like, what can we refer to that as? Or do we just take the term pro sumo and then only refer to Ozumo or Grand Sumo or whatever by those terms?
That's what the International Sumo Federation was wanting to do, is instead of calling it amateur sumo, they wanted to call it international sumo.
I'm down with that. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. So international sumo is, what we do, but then you have the Grand Sumo or, Ozumo
because
or Pro Sumo.
The O in Ozumo is like a Japanese concept where like O means like, true and greatest version of.
Yeah. Right.
Where it's like the legendary sensei that exists at the top of like karate or something is called the O sensei.
Yeah.
So O doesn't mean pro, it means like the best form of, basically.
Yes. Yes. And even if we were to use the term international sumo, that even kind of speaks to, any other form of sumo is going to be specifically this form of sumo that's in Japan, not international. It's just Japan.
But that, I don't know why that made me think of this, but it's another thing that always just kind of fucking bit my ass is whenever people do see the pool noodle tawara, or as they call it, basically whenever we don't have a clay dohyo and we have to use wrestling mats and then the tarp dohyo that does have the foamy tawara on it.
Yeah.
So that's a regulation dohyo that is, set forth by the International Sumo Federation.
Exactly.
And do you know who runs the International Sumo Federation? Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Japanese institution, but yeah, they have things in other languages.
They use those in Japan too.
They do.
Oh, that needs to be made a little bit more clear then, because I never knew that.
Yeah, so especially when you see the really gaudy, it's the white tarp with like the seafoam green or turquoise looking tawara. That's like the number one regulation dohyo.
Yeah, we got those too.
You'll see it, and if you look at the Russia Sumo Federation, you'll see that's the dohyo they're using. If you watch like elementary school tournaments in Japan, if they're not on the clay, that's what they're using.
Yeah, it's just Dark Circle Sumo Club that has the goth dohyo.
I love the goth dohyo. But then you got Mighty Eagle, they have their own like custom made colors and stuff too. But
that's kind of where I see the main problem, where it's like there is no top of the food chain for international sumo.
I really wish there was a lot more funding to get the athletes, to these different countries to compete, because there's so much talent that can't make it over there. There's a lot of people that have the skills and the ability, but they don't have the money.
Americans are poor.
Yeah. Do you remember Henry?
We don't get paid a lot.
Do you remember Nationals in Las Vegas? I think that was 2021 Nationals. Whenever the Hawaiians came.
Oh, yeah.
And dominated everybody. Remember Henry?
Yeah, I remember Henry.
Yeah, Henry has the highest shiko that I've seen of, outside of Eri Midorikawa.
Yeah.
Henry did have the highest fucking shiko. And he just fucking dominated everyone at Nationals. It was insane. But that dude, if he had the funds, because he lives in Hawaii, and they had to do a lot of fundraising to bring them to the mainland so that they could compete in nationals. But if he had the funds to compete internationally, no one could fucking stop that dude. I'm highly convinced that if he just, was in the right place at the right time, he probably could have gone pro.
Yeah. I've seen some other countries, specifically European countries, that do seem to have their shit together a lot more than we do. Here in the U.S., yeah.
Poland.
Yeah, the Swiss, I mean...
Yeah, Ukraine. Man, those Ukrainian athletes, they fucking put their all into it. And they actually have studied in Japan. In fact, because of the conflict, there are some, Ukrainian sumotori that are still stuck in Japan.
Are they still there?
There's a few that are, yeah.
Oh, wow. But yeah, they seem to have, like... more organized national federations. They seem to have better fundraising and stuff like that. It's just not happening here in the U.S. like it is.
But there's so much interest getting drummed up. And so with all this interest, if we could just keep people watching and keep people interested, that means we have to keep putting ourselves out there. We can fucking drum up the support. All we really need, we need the infrastructure and the funding. That's like the main fucking hurdle. The other thing that we really need is to make sure that we could start sending American sumotori to international competitions and really fucking put ourselves on the map. And the other thing that I would really like to do is to make amateur sumo coverage more mainstream and I know that's asking a lot, by mainstream American broadcast media. Just even if it's just like, they'll show fucking Little League Baseball. Why can't you show the fucking Consulates Cup?
What's the Sumo Federation like in Australia? Because I think, isn't John Trail...
It's John.
Yeah. Like, is he like,
John,
that's it,
and then
it's
my
just
coach.
him? Oh, shit.
There is not much sumo here.
Oh, man.
Oh, but you guys had Katrina Watts.
For a chance at big competition. We have one training a month. Caleb has to drive an hour and a half to get to his training. We have to hunt down retired pros that have recently taken up an interest in it. You don't realize how good you have it.
Oh, man, but back in the day, there was, what was it, Katrina Watts? Didn't she used to be a translator and hang out with all the Ozumo guys? Wasn't she?
Yeah, but she was more in the, like...
She was president of the Australian Sumo Federation, I thought, at one point.
That was before my time.
I think that was before John. Yeah, she was highly involved in international sumo. That's how she met Ura and all that. She was his translator before he went pro, and so she was a translator for Tochi and Gagamaru.
But I thought like her like main base was more in like Japan. I don't know.
She was, well, I mean, she's an Australian.
You know who we should ask? We should ask Scott Finley.
You know who we should ask? We should just ask her herself.
We could do that too, yeah.
Because she's listened to us before.
Has she?
No, yeah. Scott is the goddamn sumo oracle and knows all and tells all. He's an absolute blessing, and I'm glad I know him. He helped get the channel off the ground. I appreciate him for that. He gave us a chance when we were very, very small. A lot of respect for Scott. Also, he's a Scottish man named Scott. That's really funny.
No, I fucking love that man.
I think it's cute. We had him on the show. Oh gosh, how long has it been?
It's now? Whenever he first was planning the Scottish Sumo Open. He announced it like on our show.
Yeah.
And he's just so fucking hilarious.
He is, and he's just such a sweet boy, and I love Scott. Yeah,
he's a mensch.
Yeah, no, there was, because, like, the way I do the show is, like, when we're on, like, the main camera, I have, like, our proper names. Like, when we're watching the stuff, when we cut to, like, the side camera to just, like, look at the Barnes, okay, I put, like, joke names above us, and the one I had on him was Scott Burgundy. And he only realized, like, an hour and a half into it, and then he blew up on me and called me, "Why's my name Scott Burgundy? You're way funny." Like, my bad.
Oh, God.
Oh, no, but, man, all I'm really thinking is if we really want to get amateur sumo off the fucking ground, we just have to keep putting it in people's faces and make people put money into it.
You know, what I'm kind of thinking is maybe I should put some of my college, like, student group president, honor students, overachiever skills to use and, you know, kind of see... Since I can't actually do sumo myself due to my health issues, I can at least do more behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know? I should get together with people like Kellyanne and Brenda because they're much closer to the like national federation and what goes on there.
Yeah.
I should talk to them about that.
You should. Kellyanne's like actually the social media guru of the Federation now.
Yeah, it really just takes people taking initiative. But you were going to kind of summarize your points and give us some last words on what is the topic of this? Amateur sumo. We've talked about so many different things so far. Let's go ahead and give us some last words.
Yeah, but the points I very slowly and attempted to make over the last however long it's been
like hour
is
and a
like
half.
amateur sumo. Like, there's eyes on sumo as is. Whenever I talk to someone about it or bring it to their attention, they get interested. It's like, oh, I didn't know you could watch it. So it's facing a hurdle in the fact that just people are ignorant of it. Like, they just don't realize that it's there, but they know what sumo is. The problem with the other end of that case is that the best amateur sumo that we have want to leave to do more sumo. So my thoughts is, well, why don't we make something worth staying for outside of Ozumo?
Yes.
But the problem with that is, how do you get the money to make that worthwhile? By getting people to do that. How do you get people to do that? By having money to make it worthwhile. So it's a strange paradox where no one's got the funds to really get it off the ground unless Siggy seduces some oil billionaire out in a bar in Texas. But she's working on it.
Shit, that's what I was about to say. I'm looking for that lottery ticket. Shit, if I could get that fucking Powerball ticket, that's what I'm banking on.
I'm just gonna have to rob a bank. That's all it is.
But honestly, Goose, I'm in agreement. I am in hardcore agreement. And, you know, whenever I was thinking about, you know, like an elite level of international competition, especially when I saw what Dan Kalbfleisch had been putting together. He's the one that's been doing these muscle man, you know, sumo tournaments where he only recruits elite athletes, you know, to compete. But I really do want to see a lot more for women's competition as well. I think that there are a lot, especially in South America, Brazil. There are some hardcore women sumotori in Brazil, in Chile,
and that's
Argentina.
The only opportunity that women sumotori have. They can't go pro. So, you know, at least setting something up like an elite level just for the women doing amateur sumo would be such a step forward.
Hell yeah, to put their fucking faces on the Wheaties box like they fucking deserve, you know?
Yeah.
Shit. I would fucking like have Konhyori on a fucking Wheaties. I would keep that Wheaties box. I mean, I'd eat the cereal, but I would keep that fucking Wheaties box. But imagine that. Imagine a world where there are fucking, you know, hardcore fucking international sumotori that we know on the goddamn Wheaties box.
Do people even know what Wheaties are anymore?
Well, cereal with athletes on it.
Do they still make that?
They still make Wheaties?
Okay, anyway.
Do they have Wheaties in Australia?
We have Wheat Bix.
Maybe not Wheaties.
Whatever the Australian version is of the athlete cereal. Put the sumotori on that.
But I'd love to see something like that. I know a lot of people want to go train in Japan and want to go, you know, compete in Japan just to, you know, that's where sumo's from. And I get that.
That's fine, you know?
But when you come home, you know, what can you come home to? And that's where I'm in heavy agreement with Goose that we need an ultra elite level of competition so these people can fight and beat the shit out of each other, not hurt everybody else, you know, that hasn't been doing sumo for as long or doesn't quite have that skill level. And I really think that there should be a place for women sumotori to shine. I mean, look at fucking goddamn Caitlin Jones, fucking Lady Hakuho herself. She could fucking be like, you know, throwing fucking forearms at people's faces like fucking all over the world on fucking TVs all over the place. Man,
it makes me think of MMA. The way that it grew over the decades, and even like the female competitors in that, you know, like who would even be paying attention if it weren't for the way that they were able to get it in front of so many people and like grow the organization like they did.
The one promotion with Stamp Fairtex and Victoria Lee and you know, that's like my favorite fucking MMA promotion just because I love how much
one championship,
how much focus they put on
subscribe to Broad Tank.
Rod Tang's a bad motherfucker. But I love that they put a lot of emphasis on the women's competitors, too, because they're brutal. They're fucking mean. I mean, you can see the dudes beat the shit out of each other, but those women, they don't fuck around either.
Fuck no, dude.
And in sumo, it's very much the same. The women don't fuck around either.
Exactly. Any other last words for us, Goose?
Yep, if you get married, people think you're finished, but if you don't, people think you're incomplete.
Wait, what?
Well, that's the patriarchy. That's all I gotta
say.
All right, Goose, where can people find you on the internet?
Subscribe to Salt City Sumo on YouTube.
Oh, really? I've never heard that before.
Isn't there another platform y'all have on another video thingy?
We have a backup on Twitch, but subscribe to Salt City Sumo on YouTube. We go live every day of every basho for the 2 hours of top division. It starts at 5 p.m. Brisbane time. You can translate that in whatever goddamn forsaken time zone you live in that I don't care about. You're all in the Google. Past. It sucks. I hate you. Subscribe to Salt City Sumo on YouTube.
And if you wanted to find us, we are everywhere on the internet.
Salt City Sumo on YouTube.
You can, in fact, find us on Salt City Sumo as well.
On YouTube.
Periodically. But we're also on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We are on YouTube, yes. We're on Twitter. If you find us on Twitter, it's going to be Punx Sumo because I fucked up the Twitter. We also have, how many stores? 2 fucking stores. We have one on Redbubble and we have one on TeePublic. They have different colored shirts, so if you can't find what you're looking for on one, try it on the other one. We recently came out with a spectacular Chia no Fuji design that you should definitely check out.
And if you know any Chia no Fuji fans in your life, this is the perfect shirt for them.
Oh yeah, people have been going wild about this shit.
I'm a Chia no Fuji fan. I'll buy a shirt for him.
And if you like the show, definitely give us a 5-star rating. It helps other people find it. While you're at it, go give Salt City Sumo a fucking 5-star rating because those motherfuckers deserve it. They work hard to get you this fucking content.
And you know what you should do?
Subscribe to Salt City Sumo on YouTube.
Yeah, and after you subscribe to them on YouTube, you should subscribe to us on YouTube so we could hit that 1,000 people thing so we can get monetized.
Yeah, subscribe to everyone. It's going to be a subscription orgy, you guys. It's going to be great. We're going to have Vegemite. It'll be awesome.
You know, when you said Vegemite, my mind just went straight to lube.
I wonder why.
Don't, please. I'm trying to save you people.
Well, that's our show.
Thanks for having me on.
Can't wait to see you again. Bye.